Hello.
Here we are on the IncrediChat. Welcome to IncrediChat. Once again, me, Mike Lopez, with Michael Grazia, and tonight's special guest star, Marty Grabstein, the voice of the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah.
As you know, today it was a lovely rainy weekend. We would have had an incredible IncrediCon PandoraCon, just because people would have come out in this weather had we had the show gone on. But unfortunately, things were as they were, and here we are tonight. But as a consolation, we've got Marty with us tonight too. So that is what's
quite a consolation, man. It's really
where are you broadcasting from, Marty?
I'm broadcasting from my fallout shelter down here. Actually,
Awesome.
It's a fallout shelter, because right? When I remember Duck and Cover. Does anybody remember Duck and Cover?
Duck and Cover.
You're too.
I think we're a little young for it, but I do remember watching old movies.
Let me explain Duck and Cover. First of all, do I look okay, guys?
You look great,
fantastic.
How does because for the studio, for the audience, the studio audience, all of that. Oh, wait, there's no studio audience, right?
Well, guess what? It's the studio.
What am I doing? Why can't
Joe Ryan is here with us. Victor Romero is here with us. Hey, Victor. Hey, Joe.
Yes.
Are they?
Yeah, they are. I'm monitoring it right now. I've got two devices. I got a bunch of devices. We got more people are coming in. Send away and send your questions. Send your questions, folks. Go ahead.
I know about Duck and Cover.
Go ahead. No, talk about Duck and Cover.
Duck and Cover. How interesting was that? Anybody still listening to this broadcast?
Of course.
How you doing, everybody? Oh God. What is going on? This is crazy, right?
The whole thing.
What's that?
The whole thing is crazy.
That's what I'm saying, man. This is nutsy stuff, right? What's happening in the world? It's awful.
I don't know.
No, yeah. Duck and Cover. Does anybody really? Duck and Cover was a thing where you actually you learned when you were a kid in school that if you hear that there's a nuclear bomb going off in your area and you're in school, you're supposed to duck underneath the wooden desks to use those desks as protection against a nuclear explosion.
Because wood protects you from nuclear weapons.
Would the wooden desk really make a difference?
Yeah, that's the idea, obviously. But I deliberately got silent right there because I wanted that awkward pause that clearly was residing at that point. So let me hear, how am I doing? I feel like maybe I should.
Hey, Rose. Hey, Ed Ford. I'm just saying. I'm greeting.
Why do I keep looking like no matter where I go, it's only a half an image?
Are those videotapes or books?
Those are books.
Nice.
A lot of books in my home.
Nice. Good.
Wow. Wow. Whoa.
Wow. That is. I didn't see that far down.
So what's going on, Mike? What are we doing here?
I don't know. We're having an IncrediChat tonight. We got people that are going to be joining our video parties here. I want everybody, come in, ask some questions, hang out with Ed Ford. How are you? I know Ed Ford. He used to work with me many years ago. Ed Ford, meet Marty Grabstein, the voice of Courage, the Cowardly Dog. Ask some questions. We want to talk to you all tonight. I'm monitoring where we are. So, Grazia, come on.
All right. Well, Marty, I guess let's get a conversation started here. How about
an actual conversation instead of the nonsense?
Hey, Bob. Okay, hold on. I got it. Grazia, I don't know if you know DJ Bob, but Bob is on. DJ Bob is with us tonight.
I believe I've met him before.
DJ Bob, he does a cool podcast, and he has a lot of cool guests, and he wants to have Marty guest star on his thing as well. So I'm gonna get Marty and DJ Bob together and do a podcast there, because DJ Bob has had a whole bunch of people from animation and children's television on his show, so perfect fit. So we'll definitely.
That's great. But let's see how this thing goes first. Actually,
well, this is going to be amazing.
So far, let's see.
My God, Marty.
Okay, come on, guys.
Big Mac here.
No matter what,
Emilio Velez says, "Hey guys."
Hello.
Oh,
Emilio.
People are calling in with questions,
No,
apparently.
I forgot to take my phone out of the studio.
Oh, my God.
Marty, do you have a favorite episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog sent in by Victor Ramon? Romero,
Victor,
sorry.
you want to know
Victor
my favorite
Romero.
episode?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, my favorite episode is, it's very hard for me to say my definitively favorite episode, Victor, but I guess number one would be the very first one, The Shadow of Courage, because it was very exciting. It was like the first time that I had ever gone into a booth and created this character, from this wonderful story that was happening. Wonderful, you know what I mean? It was the beginning for me. So
Hi, Sarah.
it's hard for me to separate my emotions from that. But if two more, I would certainly have to say. Number one would be the King Ramses curse, return the slab, that one, and Freaky Fred. Those are pretty cool ones. I like those.
It's a box set, too.
Oh, look at that.
Get the box set if you don't have it already.
Yeah.
I think on my
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah.
You know what I found here? I got a couple of these things. Like, I found out.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
Where did you find that?
Do you see this?
Yeah.
It's a
Cool.
one of those belly washers, they called them, right? They had a Cartoon Network run of these. I had about a dozen of these, and I threw out 10 of them.
Why?
Threw them out because was just sitting around, and I had no idea that this was actually going to become a big deal. And now I wish I had them back.
Wow.
I got a keychain. Look at this, a keychain from I got a
Hold on.
of Courage.
Turn the other way.
Wow.
Yeah.
There
Nice.
it is. Given to us by the Cartoon Network, and a hat.
The Courage hat. Hello to everybody from Alterniverse that is
From
watching
Cartoon
this.
Network. But
Okay.
I never do this kind of thing. I'll get this straight. I discovered these because I was doing spring cleaning. Go figure it, right? Doing spring cleaning, and I found these things tucked away into a little box. So I opened it up and said, "Oh, this is really cool. I have a few of these things."
All right, so I have a question, and I'll throw this both to Grazia and I'll throw this to Marty.
Okay.
What do you guys? Because I'm just sitting here monitoring the feed. I know you got some feed going there too, Grazia. So Ed Ford wants to know, what do you miss, and what do you miss about traditional Saturday morning cartoons?
You want to go first, Marty?
Yeah, because I come from a time period when early morning Saturday cartoons. I mean, I remember waking up on a Sunday morning. Seeing a cartoon called Crusader Rabbit and Rags the Tiger. You probably never even heard of those cartoons, right?
Crusader.
Well, I know them.
Right. I mean, I used to watch that with my sister. She'd wake me up in the morning, say, Crusader Rabbit's on, come on. We'd run downstairs and watch it. There was a comedy to the cartoons. Of course, my favorite was Bugs Bunny, right? There was a comedy to Bugs Bunny. There was a comedy to it, and so I go this way and I go that way. I go this way. That's what I got to do. That's what I got to do. Got it. Sorry, I finally figured it out. Tell me more about my eyes. Anyway, that's from Bugs Bunny, by the way. Anyway, it was funny. There was comedy, real. It moved slowly. It wasn't about boom, 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 short sound bites, boom, low attention span, boom, quick, quick, quick. The way it is now, they would actually. I mean, it would move pretty quickly still, but there was a kind of, set up moments where, whoops, Wile E. Coyote would be, suspended him in the air, and then what do you call it? The squash and stretch and squash. What do you call that?
Yeah, squash and stretch. It's a form,
Squash and
when
stretch.
when the gravity's pulling them down, they get longer, and then as they hit,
Love that.
they squash. Yeah.
And just generally comedy, that's what I'm missing. Now everything is, I don't know, for some reason, everything moving too quickly and too much action,
Mhm.
irritating to me.
Yeah. Is
Is that something that you liked about Courage? Because how do you feel Courage compared to those particular
Well,
cartoons?
I'll be honest with you. Courage was, to John Dilworth's credit, Courage was, very much it had that kind of, that kind of old time retro feeling to it. Real instruments being played in the back, musical instruments being played as the musical soundtrack, right? Beautiful illustrations in the backgrounds, right? I mean, so much of it was and it was comedic. Yes, of course, it was moving quickly. Courage was running around, going crazy, and screaming and yelling. And I got to do a little bit of that, right?
People love Courage.
But still, there were like these moments where you had little character development going on. It's something I love that about Courage in that respect.
So here's another question that just came in. So Marty, if you had the opportunity to do the voice of a DC or Marvel character, who would it be?
In other words, even if someone else has already done the voice, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So in the new What If,
almost every DC and Marvel character has been done. Oh, you know which one, right?
I think I know who you'd like.
I don't know.
The Thing.
I was going to say that.
Think of that.
Ben Grimm.
Of course.
Not Invisible Woman.
See, as I said, the comedy is what thrives on this podcast. This is not a podcast. What is this?
I don't know what is.
You could just a stream.
It's a stream. It's
it's a live stream. Yeah.
So we can lower the we can lower the bar on this in this thing, right?
What do you mean by lower the bar, Marty?
We can have very sorry guys. We can have very low expectations of how this is going to shake out, right? And it's fine because nobody this is what are the expectations that we have of this thing anyway?
Marty being funny.
Yeah,
no,
that's
man.
it.
Most definitely we're lowering the bar.
I mean, Mike and I could disappear and just let you go for an hour, and you'd be
Marty Grabstein show.
I mean,
slowing things down.
I mean, no, think about it. Remember when we did the what was it the panel at Hudson Valley Comic Con? Was it last year, 2 years ago? I had to chase him around the room. This guy moves so fast. We were sitting at a table first. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to get up. And he got up and started walking around. And I was recording this thing, so I didn't know how I was going to handle it. And I finally got the handle on. I just kept running. This guy is just constantly moving.
And he was running.
Yeah, he was running. I couldn't keep up with him.
Not bad for a man of my size, actually, right?
He was going off. And it honestly, it was probably one of the best experiences of my life. Everybody in the panel loved you.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's generally what happens at the conventions with Marty. If you ever get the opportunity to go see Marty at a show, that's what happens. Marty steals the show, really. I mean, like he becomes the show, and we all know that.
There you go.
Another question came from DJ Bob. He wanted to know when you did the recording sessions for Courage, did you do them alone, or did you cross paths with any other voice actors while doing these Courage recordings?
Alone. Totally alone. Always alone. Never with somebody else. Generally, that's the way it's done anyway, actually, when all is said and done.
Well, nowadays, in the older days, they would get everyone, if they could, into the studio.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, I remember they would show, sometimes they would show, videos or film clips of recording sessions of some of the big stars gathered around microphones, talking to each other and laughing and having a grand old time, not being dressed up and not too much makeup. Cameron Diaz, not too much makeup on.
Cameron Diaz.
And just letting it all hang out. You know what I mean? So all of that, it's, but it doesn't really happen like that very often, even with the big stars, because usually somebody's shooting something and they can't get together sometimes, so it has to be done.
I mean, back in the old days of radio, obviously the radio was that's where a lot of the voice actors got their start, or That's where a lot of the voice actors came from, was from like your Dawes Butlers and Don Messick's and June Foray's. So they were accustomed to recording in those joint sessions together. So so a couple of other questions came in too. So Peter Trifilo, I hope I said it right. He wants to know, was Courage just a dog scared of new situations and the monsters were in his head, or was he actually seeing monsters all around him? Ooh, that's an interesting.
That's a good question.
See, if you knew Mike and Michael, when I speak to the fans at these conventions, God bless, I miss the conventions already. Yeah, it's sick. No, people can't get together at these conventions now. It's a rough time. Terrible time. Touch base on that. I want to offer some positive, input about this thing. But how do it's impossible to not talk about it. By the way, right? Mm-hmm. This is great that we're and I will answer this question, but it's like all of a sudden I mentioned conventions and it was like, like I know a lot of people. Listen, forget it. For me, it's good for me. It's it's great to show up, to see people, to connect with people. It's also, a source of income for me, for my family and stuff. But I know that a lot of people, enjoy. It's a great social outlet for so many people, and I feel bad for that. But that will happen again. It will happen sooner rather than later. I believe it will. But in answering that question, I know you don't know if I even remember what it was. I'll bet you're wondering if I even remember what the question was. How many people want to bet whether I remember what the question was?
What are we betting for?
Listen, I'm losing some income on this thing, so I could use. Come on, bet. Let me know if I'm going to be able to remember what Trafilo's question was.
Oh, yes.
Well, Trafilo, I'm gonna say if you remember his name.
You got remember the name Trafilo.
I hope we got the right number. Oh, Kenny, we'll get right to your question in a moment. We got a couple more there.
Yeah.
All right, I'll get to it. All right.
Do you want me to answer? Ask the question.
What's that?
You got the question, or you need me to answer it? Ask it again.
No. The question is that he says, is Courage actually seeing these monsters in real life, or is Courage actually a dog who is seeing these creatures in his head, or is it something that he's seeing in real life? And my answer is real life. That I don't think anybody, because a lot of people have come up to me at the conventions and have said that, the theory going around that maybe this wasn't like real, it's all in his head, and it's not real, which is a great story. I just don't believe that that's what Dilworth had in mind. I think Dilworth just says he's a dog and he sees these monsters because this is a cartoon. So I think that's where those things happen. Anyway, go ahead. Next question.
All right, cool. All right. Who?
Didn't you say Ken?
Kenny. All right, Kenny. Yes. Oh well, he's got.
I remember the name.
Well, Kenny, we already asked about what the favorite Courage episode is, but Kenny asked a good question, and we got some more coming up here. Kenny wants to know, if you had a dinner party and could invite 6 villains from the Courage series, who would they be?
Oh my goodness! I have to invite 6.
That's what Kenny said. 6. He's got.
Kenny, that's a lot. How many villains do I want? All right, in my house. All right. Okay. Well, certainly cats. We'll go for cats, right? Can I even remember 6 villains? Cats. Certainly, I would have to invite the. Hold on a second. Certainly, Freaky Fred. I would like to ask him some questions, Freaky Fred. Right. I would certainly ask the weremole to come along, because the weremole's got a lot of energy. 3 more. The chicken from outer space, actually, right? Why not? Why not ask the chicken from outer space, right? 2 more, right, Ken? By the way, Kenny, you're killing me.
That's what you need to know.
2 more. Okay. Oh, I don't remember the guy's name. the Chinese guy, right? Who's got dark sunglasses, and he's a villain, right? Or is he a villain? Actually, no. Is he a villain? That sounds good. I like him there anyway. He's a nice fella, the Chinese guy. You're allowed to say Chinese, by the way, because that's an actual. You can say people's ethnicity, by the way, in today's world, right? Don't get nervous, Michael. Everything's gonna be fine.
I'm fine. Don't you worry.
Don't you worry.
I'm good. I'm just looking at some of the upcoming questions we have. We got some good questions coming up.
All right, I'll come back with the 6-1 later. Keep listening, Kenny. Come on, let's.
All right, cool. Next question, and maybe we'll get to this more as we get to the end. But I'll mention it from our friend Anthony over at Alterniverse, one of our wonderful supporters and co-sponsors of IncrediCon.
Okay.
And he's got all of his people.
Hi, Anthony.
Hello. Anthony's watching, and all of us, and he actually has a bunch of people from Alterniverse watching this as well.
Oh, wow.
He wants to know, and again, we'll talk maybe about this more later. What is next for Marty Grabstein, and more specifically for Courage?
Well, there's a couple of projects on the burner right now that I'm not lying to you. I'm not at liberty to be able to divulge to the public, unfortunately, but to be kind of general, what's on the burner for Marty is through a newly acquired, very, hands-on voiceover agent, to be hearing my voice much more in the world of voiceover. Whether it be, certainly the ideal thing would be in animated work, but in commercial work, in commercial activities. And also, basically, because Marty Grabstein, since you asked about me personally, right? Marty Grabstein, who is a family man with 2 kids, a wife, wonderful kids, and God bless, everybody's safe. We've been locked in, right? That's why we're all doing it like this, right? We're not in the same studio together, right? So, just what's on the horizon is for me to, being what appears to be a more castable individual now, being this older character actor that I've become miraculously, as with the ravages of age. And so I'm looking forward to numerous independent film work, much television work on the horizon. In other words, be on the lookout for that sort of thing.
You were on that
right now.
You were on that great episode of Law and Order last year too. So.
Yeah,
I was. Right, I was. But we're talking about.
I know, but
all of a sudden, Ice-T's gonna, have to, give me a call. You know what I mean? And, maybe he's gonna need me a little bit once, for. All right. But anyway, I don't want something like that. You could look forward to.
All right. The next question, and this is not a Courage-based question. This is from Mike Stencil. What advice do you have for someone interested in becoming a voice actor?
Okay, Mike. Here's what I say, and forget about what's going on in the world right now, because, the industry is taking such a hit. I mean, this whole industry is taking a hit. I will tell you that voice actor work is it's a very hard thing to get. If you're looking to do animated, it's really, really hard. I would go ahead and say it's probably easier, if you want to call it easy, to get on camera work than voiceover work, because wherever you look where voiceovers are going on, more and more and more they're using celebrities, big time celebrities, and not only in animation but in commercial work. You listen to some of these voiceovers, you wonder, who is that? And you say to yourself, wait, that's Jonah Hill. That's Jonah Hill's voice. Or, all of a sudden you're just hearing them. So anybody who's an established voiceover artist goes down a notch now, goes down one notch, right? Big notch down. So they get the crumbs from those people. And then someone like myself, who's primarily a live on camera or stage actor, not voiceover actor primarily, but scored big with this one wonderful show, Courage the Cowardly Dog. I am getting the crumbs from them, and then anybody below me, it's a hard thing to do. That being said, my advice to you nonetheless, anything can happen, and you should view it because it's all a long shot anyway. It's a long shot for me, long shot for you. You never know. It's like win the lottery. Get yourself a voice tape together. Take a class, first of all. Take a class on voiceover acting. Forget about what I'm doing on Courage the Cowardly Dog. Talk about commercial work. Very specific course of study. Get that voiceover thing going. A voiceover class day will help you put together a tape. And you know what? Start submitting it. And forget about everything I just told you about the nature of the industry. Forget about it. Go in fearlessly and do what you need to do. And something might happen. I gave you both sides on that one.
Beautiful. Thank you. Now, before we get to our next question, we just want to say a quick hello. Sarah Scherhofer, she just says hello. Courage is her most favorite cartoon.
God bless you, Sarah.
Peter wants to thank you. That was one of the questions the question you answered about the stuff in his mind. That was one of his biggest questions from his childhood. So he thanks you for that.
Oh, what question was that?
The one about courage is the stuff in his mind or whatnot.
Yep.
And then and then we'll say another hello to a good friend of ours, Sal from Garden State Comic Fest.
Yes. Sal.
And he says, Marty, you got the dynamite.
Oh man, Sal, man, thank you.
Oh, and Grazi, our good friend Ray Felix says hello as well.
Hey Ray.
Sal, how you doing, man? Ray Felix. I know Ray Felix.
Yes, you do. He's done shows with us.
Yes. Good guy.
Yeah.
Sal's a good guy too. Everybody's a good guy.
Sal and Dave, Garden State Comic Fest. Go to them in June, hopefully.
By the way, Sal, say hello to Dave for me, by the way.
So the next question comes from Sean Norman, and this is maybe this is a question that maybe your son might be able to even help you out with this. Marty, what is your idea of the perfect Courage video game? The perfect Courage video game. What would it be?
Oh, I mean, I don't even know how to answer that question because, I don't know, in today's world, video games, I don't even know, how it even works now anymore, how video games happen. I mean, what Courage in all, how about Courage in all different time? There you go. Courage gets sent back somehow in a time machine. Courage somehow there's a time machine around, and Courage travels around from time period to time period and encounters difficulties in all of these time periods. How about that? And how he manages to get through. How's that sound?
That sounds.
Nobody got that excited about that idea. No. Anyway, what do you think? What's his name? What's the guy's name who asked me the question?
Sean.
Can you talk to Sean?
If he wants to talk to us, he'll message back to us.
Yeah. Just do me a favor. Ask Sean what he thinks of that idea.
Well, he heard you, Marty. So.
All right, so Sean, I'll figure out this thing works eventually. Go ahead.
All right. The next question comes from Mike Stencil once again. He wants to know, what do you think about them making a Funko Pop of Courage?
What do you mean? What do I think? I'm pissed off at these people. Funko Pop. What's the matter with you guys? Come on, man. What do we have to do to get you to do that? It's a popular show. People love it. People would go nuts to get a Funko Pop, and I would buy a whole lot of them, right? I would buy a bunch of them, right? So I can have them and sign them at shows for people. People would want that, right?
I would buy one.
Listen, I will buy that. I don't knock them up to ridiculous numbers. It's just another way of me. I'm happy to buy these things, whatever they cost. How much do they cost, by the way?
$10 or so.
Huh?
About $10 or so.
$10, $15, whatever it is. I'm happy to buy a bunch of them, have them, give them out to my family, or use them at conventions as another way of people. You know, it would be absolutely. I think it's ridiculous. So my words out to the Funko Pop people: come on, guys, give me a shot. You'll be happy. You'll sell a lot of them, man.
And I think Joe and Victor want a Funko Pop too. We got a couple more announcements.
Listen, Michael, start taking orders now. It's like the space shuttle, right? Once it finally happens, you guys will be the first ones to get the Funko Pops, all right? Start taking orders now, man.
All right. Couple of quick other messages. Sal, our friend from Garden State Comic Fest, said he will definitely pass that message on to Dave. Sarah, Sarah, remember seeing you at the IncrediCon, our first IncrediCon at the Poughkeepsie Galleria, was a year and a half ago. So that's where Sarah met you. So she met you here in Poughkeepsie at our first IncrediCon. Sean asked a question about the video game. And Sean, he said he's up for anything. And Joe Ryan says that concept, he loves that concept, and it would be stellar for Courage Through Time. Anthony from Alternaverse said he thinks everyone here would want a Courage Funko Pop. And a very special greeting from somebody who, you know, is a great friend of Marty's and ours, who helps us get Marty to a lot of these conventions and stuff. Tim Bendig from In Person Productions.
Woo!
Say hello to Tim as well.
Hey, Tim.
Woo-hoo!
Tim is watching us.
Man.
So if anybody who's watching this that has a convention, Tim has Marty. Tim has a bunch of other people. Steve Whitmire, the Humans of Sesame Street, all these great people.
Let me just tell you something about Tim Bendig. First of all, besides the fact that he has gotten me work, he stepped up to bat for me, this guy, you know, when no one else had done that. He stepped up and gave me a shot and started getting me out there to things, right? But besides that, he is a wonderful guy. He's a human being of great integrity and great love. And most importantly, and I just want to make this clear, in today's world, he's sending me some toilet paper very soon in the mail. I just want to make that clear. I was short on toilet paper, and he in Pittsburgh. We're having trouble with the toilet paper. Everybody figured that it was World War III, and so everybody stocked up on 800 rolls of toilet paper. So Tim is getting me toilet paper. I just want to make that clear.
Oh, Marty, can I share our conversation a couple of weeks ago?
Yes.
I called Marty up and we're on the phone, and we're checking in on each other. And I say, Marty, how you doing over there? He's like, I'm doing good with all this stuff because I'm walking in the mall and just doing my little errands and stuff. And then I'm just goofingly, I'm like, Marty, how you doing on toilet paper? He's like, I got 4 rolls.
Yeah. But now I'm doing good. Now I'm up there.
Thanks to Tim. Awesome. All right, cool.
God bless you, Tim. All right.
Okay, so this is a question. And who answered it back here about Cartoon Network? Victor answered it a question, but we want Marty's opinion because Victor answered what Cartoon Network said. I just got to find out who said it originally.
I think it was Victor.
Well, Victor answered Victor answered what Cartoon Network said.
But it was Kenny. Kenny had the question.
Kenny wanted to know.
Yeah.
Who and where is it? I can't find it. But anyways, it was who is the bigger fraidy cat, the bigger chicken, Courage or Scooby-Doo?
Scooby-Doo for sure.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. Here's the difference between Courage and Scooby-Doo. First of all, Scooby-Doo's a big monster of a dog. He's a monster of a dog. So the idea that he couldn't even understand his own strength and physical power, that he acts as if he's this little tiny creature. Courage is a little tiny creature. Courage is a tiny little dog. He's a tiny little dog, right? But the Scooby-Doo is big. On top of that, Scooby-Doo has a whole a whole cadre of support system going on, right? With all those adults with him, right? All the people that are hanging out with him. Courage has got nobody. Just himself, this little dog bouncing around. So I say Scooby-Doo with his support system. And I love Scooby-Doo, but with his support system, I'm sorry. I think he's more of a scaredy cat than Courage. How's that for an answer?
I like it.
Never was asked that question before.
All right. Well, because and I guess Cartoon Network didn't. They said, what did Victor say?
They said Courage won as the more coward of the two.
Courage won. So, well,
yeah.
Wait, who said that? Who
Cartoon Network.
Cartoon Network said it when they did the thing in the early 2000s.
And this is going to be a part. There's a part 2 question, but this next question comes from Emilio Velez. But first, I just want to say, DJ Bob says thank you guys for spreading positivity and distracting us from these crazy times. And DJ Bob, we love doing it. That's why we got Marty with us.
You're very welcome.
And
comment.
And Marty, Tim said it comes out tomorrow.
Oh, God bless. It's wonderful. That's right. Because I don't want to have to go out. I don't have to go out and buy a bidet. Not yet. I'm not at that point yet. But go ahead.
So Emilio Velez, our good friend Emilio Velez, he wants to know, if you had the if Courage could do a crossover with another cartoon series, who would it be and why?
Oof. I got to tell you, these are good questions. These are some of the more difficult questions I've had, actually. Very astute group you got calling in on, you guys. You guys got something going over here. Maybe I think I'm going to hang out with you more.
Anytime.
And yes.
Good guys. Really
Mondays with Marty.
Mondays with Marty.
Okay, so listen, honestly, you say which cartoon character would I like to do a crossover with?
Yes.
There is no question. Oh, come on, what am I doing here? There's no question that it would be Bugs Bunny. Well, first of all, that's Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny is my all-time favorite cartoon character. Anyway, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I've always loved Bugs Bunny. But what I like, about the crossover, first of all, the dog and the rabbit thing, right? Kind of a cool thing. And just also with the great backgrounds in the back, that old style look to it. It would seem like it would be a really cool thing to cross over with. And Bugs Bunny dealt with monsters at times, all different kinds of
Gossamer. Imagine Courage Gossamer. That'd be fun.
Monster. The little now put the little pitties in the water. Anyway. If you remember that. This is not a politically correct time period you're talking about, by the way.
Okay, so Sean says you have the writing for the Courage game down, and he can do the development for the hardware. They just need designers and programmers.
That's
all right. Cool. Yeah,
God bless
very
you.
simple.
Thanks.
DJ Bob has a good question here. When you were doing Courage, did you ever encounter fans with disabilities or illnesses? What are some of the meaningful stories that go with that?
Oh,
and
you mean at the conventions and stuff, you mean?
Yeah, I guess, or even during it. If how's Courage, maybe influenced or,
affected,
made an impact to some of these people.
I'm not sure I understand the question. I just want to make sure I'm answering the right question.
I guess pretty much asking if Courage, for people that have disabilities, like Courage is a place of comfort for them.
Absolutely. Okay. So here's where I would find that out. I would find out at conventions, right? That's where I would find that out, when people with disabilities would come to see me at the conventions, right? Mm-hmm. They would see me, and so they would talk to me, and I get a great feeling that, I would get a great feeling, a sense of feeling rewarded by the fact that I was able to reach people, that they meant something to me. Kids with autism, with that word, God bless them. I have a kid with autism, by the way. And it's pretty severe, significant, his disability. His ability to communicate is very clearly, very intense. And so I would meet kids with autism that would have either Asperger's or what they would call high functioning autism. And so I would hear them and I would see the discomfort they would have and nervousness about meeting me. But it would and so my job was to put anything else aside about how quickly I need to go through. If there's a line, I will take as much time with these people, as they need. And I just remember being very moved and touched by them. People in wheelchairs, people with other disabilities that would come to me and would be so excited. I guess the idea being that, and this probably goes back to the idea that courage being so terrified of everything so much, and yet somehow facing his fear is a feel-good story, right? Every time courage somehow rises to the occasion with all that absolute terror he has of everything, facing your fears and facing your anxiety and facing your depression. It would hold true for so many people who struggle with all of these conditions, physical and emotional and mental issues, so many different things. And so I feel like courage is even the word courage, have the courage to stand up and you'll be okay, like the idea. And so I guess also, that being said, again, it's so funny I mentioned the word courage and you'll be okay. I guess I want to say to everybody out there who also is facing this, frightening time period that we're all in, to, the courage says, we will be okay. We will have courage, have faith. We will be okay. Do what you need to do. And we will be able to beat down this problem that we're all facing. So anyway, I know I went off on that one, but it just it's hard not to talk about it, right?
It's
something that's.
What's that?
No, I was saying it's everywhere. That's what everyone's only talking about. So
yeah. So it's a pleasure to talk about other things. I got news for you. This is a pleasure just coming on this thing tonight. So
and
we're happy to have you, Marty, anytime.
And some feedback from Victor. Victor said he's very moved to hear that. He can relate to courage a lot. So definitely, making a difference to some people. So Grazia, I've talked a lot while we're getting some more questions here. You have any to hit with Marty?
I don't have anything. I mean, we're covering a lot of stuff.
Keep the questions coming.
I'm looking at questions. I don't see as many as Mike does for some reason. But the one story I was going to ask if you can tell, because it's one of my favorite stories. Can you tell how you got the job as Courage?
Oh, sure, yeah. Well, very simply, it was I got a call from a friend. The reason I like this story is because, first of all, it defies the odds. It's a defy the odds kind of story, right? And also, basically, I was at a job doing my survival job, and I got a call from an old friend who I haven't spoken to for 7 or 8 years, long time, and said, "Hi, it's me, it's Risa. Just wanted you to know that I see that you're in. I've noticed your name in the in the newspaper, because I had actually been doing a sketch comedy act with a partner." Called Lab Rats. His name was, with my partner Rick Mowat, and we were doing this, really great. I think it was great fun, great. We were doing pretty good. We got some great reviews. We did this. Anyway, the point is, she saw my name. She said, "I see you're still in the business. Good to see you're in the business." Listen, we were making no money doing this thing. We were getting reviews. We were making nothing, zero. We were spending money to get this thing to happen. But anyway, the point is, I was doing it. I was doing what I love to do, acting, even though it was comedy acting, but it was sketch comedy. So it was sort of scenes and, still required the acting thing. And so she called me up and said, "I got this guy, John Dilworth. I'm working for him. And he's been listening to every voiceover artist in the city for this cartoon show that he's casting right now called Courage the Cowardly Dog. And he's looking for the voice of the lead character. And he's heard about 250 different tapes of auditions of voiceover artists and can't seem to decide on what to do. So he's making me crazy. At this point, I think I may as well reach out to you. You have a pretty distinctive voice, as you all could hear, right? Kind of a scratchy, very distinctive sounding voice. And so I went in to see him, and within like 2 minutes, he was loving my interpretation of it, right? I mean, he was saying, yeah, oh, this is great. This is great. Yeah. And so, you know what, though? Actually, but do what you did just now, but pitch it high. So I had to go up here. I had to do it just like that. And he said, yes, that's it. That's it. And so he nailed it. He said, as far as I'm concerned, you got the part, but I have to clear it with Cartoon Network. Cleared it with Cartoon Network, and that's it. So what an interesting thing was that he took a voice that's very low pitched and scratchy and made it go high up here, and that's what got me the job. Though there was one other thing that got me the job too.
Oh no,
this is my favorite part.
My eyebrows looked like Courage's eyebrows. This is what John Dilworth said to me. He said they looked like Courage's eyebrows, and that kind of sealed it for him. What can you say about such a statement, right? God bless, right? You never know. It's a crazy world, right?
That is a crazy story.
I love that story. I don't know how many times I can hear it. It's just awesome.
Yeah. And also, another thing I wanted to say about that is that besides the fact that it was like, hey, anything can happen, but also, so it is possible. But also, when I was talking to the voiceover person that asked me the voiceover question earlier, right? This is what I'm trying to say. I was that guy who nobody knew who the heck I was. Who was I? I was a nobody to them. What were my chances of going up against all these voiceover people, right? And yet somehow I got it. So anything is possible. But also, this is probably even more profound from my point of view, that is that what was it that got me called in to the job to begin with? It was the fact that I was continuing to keep my feet wet in the industry, even though I was making no money. I wasn't getting any jobs. I wasn't booking commercials or booking films or anything. I was just putting together my own thing with a partner, but putting together my own thing, being creative, getting out there in the world. And somehow she heard about it, found out about it. So the idea that I, in some weird way, created getting Courage sent to me. Something like that.
No, that's great. I mean, I've always told everybody who wants to be an artist, just keep doing it. And that's the thing with you. You were an actor. You just acted. Didn't care if you were making money for it. Just you acted. And it's the same thing I always say with comics. Just put stuff out. Just make art, and just put it out there, and
you
see what happens.
You don't know when it's going to happen.
Exactly.
But if you keep doing it, as long as you survive, if you live, I live, I'll end up being a superstar. Yeah. That's the thing. I have to, if I survive, I'll end up being a superstar, maybe, or not a superstar, but maybe a star. A star of film or whatever it is. Am I being too verbose here? I mean, no, really, actually, if you just stay with it, anything is possible. But you know what? Exactly. It doesn't matter if I become a star or not. It doesn't really matter. What really matters is that you love what you do, and you take care of the people that mean something to you, and keep that level of integrity in the way you operate. That's really the most important thing. More important than anything else, anyway, right? Whew, man, I'm getting heavy.
Well, the other thing is that now too, as you know, we are all sitting in our homes doing this kind of thing right now.
Yep.
What's it called? Everybody has the chance to be creative and do these things that you haven't had the chance to do before, because now you can do it.
Yep. Very good point there. Yeah.
So someone posted today, and this is probably a horrible joke, but probably true. They felt bad for all the husbands who always would tell their wives they'll get to it when they have the time. Because now you've got the time.
Well, guess what?
It's funny you say that because Janine just asked me the other day when I'm going to fix something. It's been 2 days now.
Not when you have the time. You have all the time in the world.
I love it. That's great, man. That is
So
great.
who else has some more questions for Marty? Any other questions coming in here? Joe Ryan says it's awesome. It was awesome hearing the backstory of how you got the part. Victor says a few months ago he did a drawing with Courage and one of his original characters. And no, we have not seen it. So if there's a way you can send it to us, we can certainly get that over to Marty.
To post it on my Facebook page.
Yeah, go to Marty Grabstein on Facebook, also on Instagram. So
that's right.
Find Marty on there. Marty, he does little videos. He was singing earlier today, playing the guitar. We were watching.
That was awesome. I gotta say.
Go ahead.
I said I loved the song today.
Oh, you love the song? Good.
Yeah.
I did a little song. I kind of slightly shifted some of the lyrics just a little bit, just subtly, to make it a little bit. It seemed just perfect for today. I'm not going to say what the song is, but you people should certainly listen to it.
It worked. It worked very well.
Yeah, go on.
I also may as well use this platform myself for saying that I've done something kind of cool. I feel it's kind of cool. I registered with this service called a Cameo, which means that I will, if people want to hire me to do shout outs to their friends, loved ones, family, happy birthday, happy anniversary, anything at all, really, even just some words of encouragement. I will, you can find me on cameo.com and just get on, get on that service, and I will, there I'll be personally talking to people that you care about. So kind of a cool thing that, during this time period when conventions are not happening, right? Yeah. So anyway, just thought I'd mention that. A little bit of shameless self-promotion, but why not? Well, you do what you got to do.
You're here. We're here to share you with everybody, right?
What's it?
And so we're here to share you with everybody, meaning you could promote whatever you want to promote. That's what you're here for.
Yeah, what are you going to do anyway if I do? What are you going to do? Kill me? What are you going to shoot me?
I'm not driving to your house right now.
Rozzie's not going anywhere. Right?
I am not leaving my house.
Not even to go down the stairs.
I try not to.
I know.
Right.
Hey, look, I've said it on here before. I'm one of those people susceptible to what's going on out there, so I play it really, really safe. So
it's good to do that.
Yeah,
it's a tough thing. I do believe. My wife is in the healthcare industry, and she's in a hospital. Actually, she works in the pediatric unit, Holy Name Hospital, actually, and in Jersey. It's difficult what's going on there. A lot of difficulties happening, but they're meeting the demands currently. I know that it's all these tests are coming through, so suddenly that spike in numbers. I do believe, while this is now what we're looking at over this next week or so, looks like the peak is happening. I do believe we will hit a peak and then it will level off, as they call flattening the curve. I think that all these precautions are going to help tremendously. And I do believe that when we, come summertime, June, July, August, I believe we will start to see a thawing out of this kind of life that we've been hunkered down in right now. That's my belief. Now, can I definitively say that? No, of course I can't say anything definitively, but it is my belief.
So with that belief, do you think we're just going to be all like in our homes until like June, July time, or we're going to get out earlier?
Well, I don't know. I think, what's probably going to happen is that they're probably going to, I don't know. I would say maybe May we'll start to see, kind of some changes going on.
These are just opinions, folks.
Now, let me ask you this, because we were talking about, and we kind of had a phone conversation about this. was it last week or something when we were talking, and we were talking about how, you know, people are going to change after, like, once we're able to start coming out again. You know, and you're a very, like, hyper, when you're at shows, I'm talking about right now, you're very hyper, you're very touchy, you hug like everybody.
I know.
Is this going to affect how you, because I believe
Absolutely.
this is going to become an annual thing for us. Once cold weather starts coming, I just think it's going to hopefully not be as bad each time. Hopefully maybe there'll be a vaccine, whatever it's going to be. I just believe this is going to start.
There'll be a vaccine.
Yeah.
There'll be a vaccine. There'll be a way of preparing for it. There'll be a way of a certain, like what they call the herd immunity.
But
begin to happen. I do believe that, yes, it's just something, you know, it's a bad disease.
Yes.
It's a bad disease. It's rough. I don't think it's the end of the world. And I say that literally because people tend to think the worst.
Yes. No, I agree with you there.
The end of the world. This is the, I hear the word, I've never heard the word apocalypse used so many times, you know, as in today's world, that this is it. This is the apocalypse. This worldwide pandemic. This is the apocalypse. I also, you know, at the risk of alienating people, because this is a very sore subject, but, you know, it's almost like if you say anything positive or try to get some perspective on it, that it looks like you're not respecting the disease. Like Larry David said in Curb Your Enthusiasm, you respect wood. I don't think you respect wood. I don't know why that came to me, but for some reason, in all this heavy talk, Larry David came to mind. God bless. As I knock on wood. Anyway, so it's not somebody really. Sometimes I don't know where it is that I come from. What is going on with me sometimes? But anyway, what I was going to say is that we have to still remember that 80% of the people that get it exhibit moderate to mild to no symptoms at all. Don't have to be hospitalized. 80% now, which of course, if you want to look at it glass half full, glass half empty, 20% that will have to be affected in some way, going to a hospital, and somewhere in the, I think I heard somewhere between 2 to 4% mortality rate. So I mean, are these definitive numbers? It's just numbers that have been talked about. But it does seem to be that the vast majority of people that are infected with it will be okay. So we have to keep that in mind. Not that it's going to make a difference in how we should be preparing and being careful. We should still continue to be careful. But in terms of keeping ourselves sane and not letting the fear and anxiety that we walk around with, and that people are walking around with on a regular basis, to destroy us. Also, and this is also something that, please, this is not me negating the gravity of the disease. I'm not negating it. But what I am saying is that if you walk around within a perpetual state of stress and anxiety, you can bring illness to yourself. I believe that has been proven over many, many studies that is possible, that you can get sick, maybe not even from the coronavirus, from something else. You know, you can give yourself disease from being so anxiety ridden and so fear ridden. So you have to be careful, but learn to relax, learn to not let that anxiety overtake you. And that's, I think, we owe ourselves that. We will hurt ourselves if we do walk around like that. And that's something I think to bear in mind.
Very good. Very nicely said. What? I'm sorry, what did you say, Marty?
No, I said heavy stuff.
Yeah. No, it totally is.
How about in the light end of it? Because I said to Marty, I said this would be interesting. What would courage be, Derwin?
Hold on, before you say another thing, Michael, do you respect wood?
Me or which me?
Do you respect wood?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I don't know which.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
That's
Why not? Let's get to courage.
Back to courage. So what would courage be doing right now? Being quarantined at home and not being able to go out. What do you think courage would be doing? There he is, courage.
He'd be sleeping. There he is. Yep. Where's that big thing? Where'd you get that?
That's the DVD. I still need to get a copy for myself.
On the screen.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Wow. So what would courage do? He'd be sleeping.
What would be courage doing right now?
He'd be sleeping.
He doesn't do anything else.
Yeah. Dogs sleep.
Yeah.
All right.
And by the way, just I just want to say about the DVD. If you don't have until you get the DVD, make sure you have the Boomerang app. You could see courage all the time on Boomerang.
Yeah, but we don't
on the app.
On the app, the Boomerang app has courage.
Oh.
I watch it every now and then.
But guess what? But you can't get the app signed. If you get the DVD, you can see Marty in person.
I'm saying until they can get the DVD.
Come on.
Until they get
Tell them to check me out on Cameo. Spread the word about Cameo. We'll do it that way.
Cameo's great too.
What's that?
I said Cameo's great too. I've been scrolling through it. I see a lot of interesting stuff on there.
Yeah, it's a great thing, and a lot of these people are doing it.
Yeah.
Everybody's on Cameo now. So
I know.
No.
What's that?
I look like Rozzy was gonna say something.
No. I was scratching my beard. I play with it. I got to trim it. It's getting a little longer.
Let's talk more about the beard.
What do you want to know?
I don't know. I'm just saying. How do you the beard looks nice.
I
just want to go on record. You've been asking me a lot of. The question's done. By the way, we'll probably. When is the show over? Midnight?
Well, we usually do about an hour, which we've hit, but we can go longer. We don't mind going longer. Anyone have any other questions for Marty?
Any other questions for Marty? I'm looking to see. Somebody's just talking about the Boomerang app. We got
what did you say? The beard. Forget about the beard.
Okay, whatever.
I was going for something. Michael, I was going for something there.
It's okay. We don't need to go where you probably were going to go.
No, I don't even know where I'm going to go. It wasn't like I had like this incredible agenda about your beard. I didn't know what I was. Just brought it up for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh boy!
And yet, ironically, we're still talking about it.
I'll tell you one thing about my beard. The reason I grew it is because I hate shaving. That's why I grew my beard.
But it looks good, though.
Thank you.
It look good?
Thank you.
So bright.
And it makes up for the baldness.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was good to do on. That was good to do on.
Well, if I don't have it up here, I better. Yeah.
He loves to bust your chops, man.
Oh yes, he does.
Boy, does this guy love to bust your chops.
And my favorite part about having control of the stream right now is that I can always mute Mike if I need to.
But that would not be fun.
Really? What if I do it right now? No, I won't do it.
But no, we've been on here for an hour. There's so much more we can talk with Marty about. We could be here for hours upon hours, but we should save some for enough fun for another time.
Definitely.
Because we really need to get into because we've done several conventions with Marty, and the one thing we know Marty loves to do is get there. He gets there at the crack of dawn, right? And before the show opens, Marty likes to go out there and look for his comic book. So because Marty loves his vintage comics.
He's a big Fantastic Four fan.
Absolutely. So maybe we can get some other comic guests in here, have Marty come back and do a conversation with these comic guests and talk some.
I just want to put it out there because let me tell this. I'll just give you a brief. And this is just the last thing. This is, by the way, I just want you to know the story I'm telling right now, the story I'm about to tell, actually has a secret, selfish agenda at the other side. I'm telling you in advance because the story is going to sound very touching and what a great guy, what a wonderful guy. But there's actually a secret agenda I have operating. So once I don't want you to give me too much credit for this story, but yet listen to it as well. No, you know what? What am I talking about? Why am I destroying my chances here? Does anybody know what that?
Oh no.
I'm sorry, guys. I just all of a sudden got caught in my own insanity, and it was just one of those moments. Okay, so basically, because I collected, I started collecting comics in 1991, which is late, right? And they were worth a lot of money. I decided, it was a crazy thought. I started buying. I remember I purchased Fantastic Four numbers 25 and 26, the Hulk versus the Thing, which was my favorite one. So I got them, and I got the bug, and I said, you know what I want to do? I'm gonna buy bit by bit over the years and assemble a collection of all of the 12-cent Marvel superhero comic books. And I got it starting with the two 10-cent Fantastic Fours number 1 and 2, and then everything else 12 cents up till 1969. So from 1962 to 1969, I proceeded to purchase complete runs of Fantastic Four, X-Men, Avengers, Spider-Man, including all the number ones and everything, right? Daredevil. And I was very proud of my collection. It was basically low grade stuff, but I liked the low grades. The expensive books were low grade because I couldn't afford the high grade stuff. I wasn't going to be playing in that arena. So I purchased all those books, and then somewhere along I got married, had a kid, and my kid was born with autism, and so that was a very painful thing. And we got him because we were very proactive. We got him into this clinic that was the Carbone Clinic, which is a really an amazing place. He was 2 years old, right? So from ages 2 to age 6, we had him in this clinic in a very hands-on attempt to give him the best chance possible, even though theoretically one could say that we could have just done what most people do, which is you just take what the state gives you, what the towns give you, and there's plenty of services. But we went above and beyond. We said, this is for our kid. We want to save his life. Unfortunately, we did not achieve what we were hoping to achieve, but we did make a lot of headway in those early years of development with him. Skills that he still possesses now, as limited as his skill set is. But at one point, it was so expensive that I sometimes had to have I would have special events, fundraiser events where I would raise money. I would put together huge groups, people performing and this and that. So at one point within all of those, sometimes I would just have to sell things. So I decided at one point we owed money to this thing. So I sold for about, I think it was about $25,000, almost all of my collection of my old Marvels, including the Fantastic Four 1 and Amazing Fantasy 15. And still to this now, what would I have made from them? I probably would have made more than double that amount if I sold them one by one on the internet. But I sold them to a guy, who was a very fair comic book shop guy, but he needed to make a profit. So he had to buy them and make a profit. So he wasn't going to give me full worth of it. How was he going to do that? So, anyway, the point is, it was very upsetting that I lost those books, but I felt that I would do it again today because your kid is more important than just some things you acquire, right? But to this very day, sometimes I think, and I still have some books left, actually. I still have some cool books left, but mostly gone, the old Marvels. But in today's world, I would love if I could somehow find an affordable version, and when I say affordable, of a Fantastic Four number 1. That would make me extremely happy if there was a comic book shop guy who would be willing to work with me financially, if he could find a really low grade, beat up FF1 and I would even, maybe because I have some golden age. I have some golden age Superman, like from the 40s, Batman. So maybe I would throw something. He'd work something out with me, with trade and money, and keep it somewhat affordable. Under $1,000 would be, for me, even if it was $800, $900, something in that vicinity, I would be very excited to be able to get that. So putting it out to any comic book people out there who are willing to play ball with me, and I would promote your shop tremendously.
Well, as you're talking about comics, our friend Anthony from Alterniverse he's an awesome book, Spider-Man's 2 at Old FFs. So maybe Anthony might have some connections to find you that beat up FF #1 and then some. So I can't speak for Anthony, but he's watching us right now. So definitely, he always and Anthony always have great comics, and so does our friend Very Gary Comics. So maybe we can find that beat up FF. I know they're looking for any Courage comic that they can get to. So any comic vendors who watch this, we need Courage comics.
Oh, we need Courage comics. I know they're not expensive, but I'll buy all the Courage comics you got. I know they're not expensive. I know they can maybe go for $8, $10, $12, $5, like that. And if you got them, I'll pay for them anytime. You got a Courage comic book, just let me know, and I will buy them. I will PayPal you the money. Send me the whole thing.
And Tom Siaka's on. Tom wants to know if you're getting any cash from a movie. I don't know what movie he's talking about.
What movie?
I have no idea. So, Tom, what movie? Who knows? And then Anthony said, we'd like for you to come out when this event, this quote-unquote event that we're in, is over. So, over at Alterniverse. So, there
What's
you go.
Alterniverse?
That's the comic shop up in Hyde Park. And I think I'm pretty sure you met Anthony when you came to both when you were out for IncrediCon.
Was Anthony the guy that we met when we came in late at night? We were walking through the casino hallway of not Hudson Valley, but of Garden State, and we were talking with you guys and a couple of friends of yours in a hallway. Is Anthony one of those people?
Wait, where at a casino?
Was it the Garden State? Was it the Atlantic City show you're talking about? Garden State?
Garden State Comic-Con. Garden State, where our buddy Sal was.
No.
Yeah. Okay. No. Okay.
You and I remember.
Anthony remembers meeting you. He's just telling me this right now. But I was either at the mall. It was probably at the mall. Definitely at the mall. And then
it might have been an incredible. Was Anthony a vendor?
Anthony runs Alterniverse, so he wasn't there as a vendor at IncrediCon, but he had a spot at Hudson Valley.
He had a spot at Hudson. He probably met me at Hudson Valley then.
Yeah, or he probably met you at our show too. He says you met. I'm gonna say it was probably both places.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I talk to Anthony all the time about you.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you right now? At the Galleria. That's why I was at Hudson Valley and the Galleria. So he saw you both places.
Yeah.
You guys will have a really, once this thing yes, you're right about me connecting with people. And yes, it is going to be a different thing, hugging. And, I can't hug, which is something that I make a big deal out of, hugging people. And, that's a big part of my connection. Oh, low battery. We're going low on the battery.
So we'll have to wrap this up in a minute then, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That, by the way, that was not me trying to throw you guys off the air with me.
Well, Anthony said that he met you and he was talking to both you and Grazia at Hudson Valley Comic-Con.
Yes, I know. I don't remember when it was, but I know I was at Anthony's booth looking for books, and Marty might have been with me at that point.
Okay, you know what?
He was up against the back wall, about 4 or 5 aisles from you.
Yeah, he was up against the wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I see his face, I'm sure I'm gonna know who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll remember.
But I mean, we could definitely do this again and talk more about comic books. I mean, certainly, you know what? I think it would be really fun because Marty has this love for vintage comics. Bring on Anthony, bring on Gary, and have a talk about vintage comic books. Because I mean, hours could hours
fantastic
about that.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. I'd love to see all you guys chatting about it.
Anytime,
because I'm a gold and silver age guy myself. So
yeah, this is great, man.
This was always a good time. So once again for Marty, Cameo, Instagram, Facebook.
Yes.
Any place else they can find you?
That's plenty. Isn't that good? Email.
Here's Marty's number up on the bottom of the screen.
Call me up at all hours of the day and night. Yes. It would be a wonderful thing. When I block your call, don't take it personally. It's just I'm such a nice guy. You have to really irritate me for me to block your call. But it's I'm not like I can't be irritated. I can get irritated. I'm not just a nice guy,
But so that's where you can find Marty, and then certainly we're gonna post this online. So if you want to go back and spread the word about this cool thing that we did here tonight,
this will also be on my YouTube page too, as well as the IncrediCon page.
Anthony said vintage comic night. So we'll do a vintage comic night. I think that's a cool idea. And he says thank you for doing this. And then he said, how about snail mail? People can send you a letter. No.
What's that?
Regular mail.
Snail mail.
Snail mail. Regular mails. Yeah.
Right.
So, all right. Well, thanks a lot, Marty.
Pleasure hanging out with you guys always.
Anytime. We love hanging out.
Seeing you, and love to Janine and Dawn. God bless both of them. All of you guys stay safe, and they will be over this. This will happen. I know it looks crazy, right? But we'll be okay. We'll get through this, man.
And also, like, if you're not following us already definitely follow Marty on Facebook and IncrediCon. Facebook and Instagram. And then be IncrediCon on Facebook.
Yeah.
And we'll be doing more of these. And Marty will it's just going to be a real party all the time.
And it turned into a great thing, right?
Oh, yeah. It was a great thing.
Right. We were kind of at the very beginning, it felt a little like quicksand, right?
Well, that's why we set the bar low, like you said, and we just can only go up through there.
And like I said, more of these to come.
Yes. Actually, speaking of, thank you. Speaking more to come Tuesday, we're going to have Matt Hansel, who draws the Underdog comic right now and does some other things. So we're going to have a chat with him Tuesday night.
Great.
Yes.
Nice.
All right.
And then I believe it's going to be Wednesday night. We're going to have Tim Clark join us.
And that's awesome. Tim Clark of Boglands and so many other great things.
Yes. And thank you. Yes, Anthony. Also for IncrediCon, go to IncrediCon HV. IncrediConHV.com. That's our website too. So all these things will live on there as well and on YouTube.
Yes.
So we got some cool guest stars coming up and other people in the next few weeks. So keep checking back on us, and thank you for that, Anthony. Tuesday at 8:30, correct, Razia?
Yeah, 8:30.
Yeah. So if you're an Underdog fan, Tuesday at 8:30.
Yes.
So spread the word for the IncrediChat and Cameo.
Yeah.
All right, guys. My pleasure hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, same here. Anytime, Marty. Have a great night.
You too.
All right, man.
Bye.
Bye.